Hello there, and thanks for joining me at my bench once again. It's been a while since I've done a video. I was away for a little while there, so I got back and I decided it's time I done one here. And so for this time around I chose dry fly, and it's a little pattern that I come up with myself over the years, and I just simply call it the little brown stone. And I use it when them little stone flies are hatching in the spring of the year, and I've had some good luck on it over the years, and I thought I'd share this one with you this time around. So we'll get him out of the vise, a fresh hook in, and I'll get started for you. And the hook is a Mustad 9671, and I tie these in a size 12 and 10. I don't tie them real down really small because the stone flies that I'm imitating with this fly are not that small, so I chose a size 12 here. So we'll get him in the vise, lock him down here. Okay. Now the thread of choice is some Danville 6/0 here in black. So what we're going to do is leave about 2.5 eye lengths space behind the eye and start our thread here. And we're going to work back to the bend, get to just about to the barb here, get a nice smooth thread base down, and we'll snip off our tag end here, get rid of that, and we'll come back a little bit farther and stop right about there. Now for the tail and wing on this guy, I'm using a material. It's a little bit different. I don't know if you may have not used it before. Instead of elk hair, it's the elk mane. It's the mane off the elk, and that's what I use for the but you can use the regular elk hair as well if you don't have elk mane. And this is what I use here. So, and I have some already prepared, and I got some for the tail in this stacker, so I'll just give it a few taps. And I don't put a heavy tail on it, fairly sparse. So we'll measure that up, and I want that just about the length of the hook gap, maybe a tad bit longer, and I'm going to snip that to the length I want it there. We'll come up around with a pinch loop and come down. And this stuff doesn't flare that much, so it's good stuff to work with for tails and wings on this fly. And then if you're tying stimulators and flies in that category, it works good. Alright, so we're just going to come back to about the barb there. Alright, we'll tie that down, secure it down really well. Alright, there's our tail. Now I'm going to catch in a piece of fine copper wire. Going to wrap that through the body hackle later for extra durability, so I'll tie that in here. Just catch that in. Okay, come right back to in front of our tail and stick that in the material clip. Now for the body, I'm using something that is a little different. It's just some beaver dubbing. It's the same color gray as the Adams dubbing, so you could use Adams dubbing, or if you have muskrat, you can use that as well. I just use beaver on this particular pattern. Any gray dubbing will do the job. Now we'll get a little bit of dubbing wax here and wax up our thread. Okay. Get a little bit on there. Okay. And get a little bit of dubbing out of the package here. Okay. Yeah, we'll begin to dub this on here for our body. Just like so. Okay. I just put a smooth, even body on this one. I don't put any taper on this particular fly. Just even body all the way up. Okay. And this beaver dubbing dubs really well. You actually don't even need any wax. I always put a little bit on just to be really sure. Okay, now we're gonna. Whoops, sorry folks. You can tell I haven't done a video in a while. I'm jumping ahead here a step, so I'm just going to leave that dubbing on the thread. Now, it has a body hackle on it, as you've seen on the first fly. And I have a real nice long brown saddle hackle here. And what I do, I got enough hair length I'll use for the body, and what's left I'll use for the front of the fly. So I'm going to try to tie that in so I don't have to take the dubbing all off there. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, just keep that dubbing down. Now we'll tie this in right in front of our tail there, so that worked out well. Okay, so there, the dubbing's still good. Just got to straighten that noodle out a little bit. Alright, so now we're going to wrap our body, and what I'll do is wrap back, and then I'll lift the hackle and take one turn of dubbing behind that hackle, like so. Then we'll start to wrap forward. Okay, that's fine. And don't worry about it being perfectly, doesn't have to, don't worry about a few guard hairs sticking out, whatnot. These, I'm tying these for fishing, so a little bit of bugginess never hurts on these flies. Okay, there's our body. So now we'll take our hackle and begin to wrap that. We'll just take evenly spaced turns going up. Just palmer that hackle up through the body. Just like so, till we get to the end here. Then we'll tie them off. Just like so here. 4 or 5 good, strong, snug wraps there. And we'll snip off the excess. And we're going to use this for the front of the fly. So if you're using the same kind of type of hackle, just save that, don't throw it away. And what I'll do next is wrap my wire through. Just for a little extra durability here. And I'll just wiggle it as I wrap it through a little bit. Don't worry if you trap a few fibers, it won't hurt anything at all. Alright, bring that around a couple times, tie off the wire, catch it in, and always keep good. Whoops, my thread sort of broke there, folks. No worries. We'll just grab that with the hackle pliers. I never lost no tension on it, so that's fine. Great time for that to happen, my first video after coming back, but just bear with me, folks. It's not a problem. We'll just catch that in here. Alright. Okay, we got both ends caught in. Now I'll snip those out. Alrighty. There we go. Alright, so let's get back to where we were there. Now I'll just helicopter that wire off. Okay. I'm going to make a nice little thread base there before I tie the wing down. Alright, now before I do the wing also, I just bring my thumb in here and steady the scissors, and I'm going to trim that hackle off the top of the body. Just so our wing will lay down a little better there. Okay, so I have some more of that elk mane and another stacker here. I'm just going to tap it a few times and pull that out for the wing. And the wing is about twice the thickness of the tail, so they want it a little bit thicker, of course. Okay. Alright, so now I want that to come back almost to the end of the tail, not quite, so I'm going to measure that and then cut it. And hopefully my measurement is right on. Hopefully, anyway, folks, we'll see here. Gotta trim it a little bit more. Now, before I tie that down, I like to take a little bit of Zap-A-Gap also. Just a tiny drop, put on there before I place the wing on top. First, durability purposes. As you know, I always like to make a durable fly. Make it last as long as possible. Now we'll come around here and catch that in on top. Now I sort of want this wing to fan out a little bit, so I'm going to take my thumb and just push it around a little bit on top so it fans out. And I'll wrap back. And for it, once again, lock that in there good with some snug wraps. Alright, that should be fine, folks. And that's what we're after right there. Okay. So next, I'm going to take my hackle once again here. And I'll prepare that to tie in for the front hackle. So one advantage of these real long saddle hackles, you can get a lot of flies out of one hackle. Now we'll tie that in right in front here. Just like so. Catch that stem in over the top. Nice and snug. Okay, and we'll trim him out of there. Just like so. Alrighty. And before I wrap that, I'm going to give that a little tiny drop of head cement on the thread wraps. Just a little drop there, if I can get it to come out for me. There we go. Okay. Okay, now we'll catch, or rather, we'll wrap our hackle rather, sorry about that. Now the first wrap, we want right in front of that wing there. Nice and tight against the wing. Then we'll just proceed to wrap forward, one right in front of the next. Close together is what we want. Get a nice full hackle on the front. Just like so. And you usually get about 4 or 5 wraps on these guys in the front hackle. So we'll tie that off. And we'll get a couple wraps in the front there. Then I'll come in nice and careful like and snip him out. Just like so. And there's still enough there to do another fly, which is good. Alright, so now I'm going to come in with my half hitch first. Make a half hitch knot or two. Right, like so there. Make one more. Alright, then we'll do a whip finish. We'll get 4 or 5 turns on this little guy. And he is a done deal just about here. Alrighty. There we go, snip down the thread. Snip off the excess, and there she be. There's another size 12 little brown stone. Like I was saying, it's just a pattern I developed to use where I fish over the years, and I've had success with it, and I like to share patterns with you that I have caught fish on, so you can tie them up and try them as well where you fish, and hopefully have some luck on them. So anyway, I'm going to just take my head cement here once again and put a little drop there on the, and let it soak in those thread wraps, just like so. There we go. And he is a done deal. Like I was saying, it's an effective fly when the stone flies are out and about. So once again, I want to thank you for watching, and if you'd like to see more of my flies, don't hesitate to hit the good old subscribe button there, and the little bell so you can be notified when I put up a new video. And throw in a like too if you wish, and any comments, put them down below. I'd like to hear from you. So until next time, everyone, I want to wish you happy tying out there. I'll see you all again soon, and so long for now, folks.